Hi there and welcome to the Resources Roadhouse. I'm Wally Graham and today I'm joined by Rob Waugh, Managing Director of Musgrave Minerals. Now, Rob, you've got some interesting ground out near Kew in Western Australia. You've got your 100% owned ground, which adjoins a joint venture you have with Evolution Mining. Now, if you could just explain to us the shape of the project, basically, you know, how it all fits into each other. Can we just have a look at that before we get stuck into things?
Yeah, sure, Wal. Look, pleasure to be here and talk again with the Roadhouse. The Kew ground for us is a key land holding. Obviously, it's our main project. So there are two main components to that. One is our 100% ground, as you mentioned, which is generally the southern proportion of the ground, but also the mainland area to the north. The central portion of the ground is on Lake Austin, so covered by recent cover from Lake Austin. That cover varies from roughly 2 to 3 metres all the way through to about 80 to 100 metres. And that is the area dominated by the joint venture with Evolution. So that's really central to the ground holding at Kew. So it's about total about just over 300 square kilometres and half of that is in joint venture with Evolution. Evolution, obviously Australia's third largest gold miner, have an opportunity to earn up to 75% in that joint venture ground. By spending $18 million over 5 years. So they've spent roughly around $6 million at the moment in the first 2 years, or just under the first 2 years. So we're looking forward to continuing that joint venture. All our resources that we've announced to date, Break of Day, Lena, new discoveries at Big Sky, etc., are all in our 100% ground. So that's important to note as well.
All right. Well, let's have a look at the joint venture ground, because that's where you've most recently released some news from there. Again, some good drilling results, some encouraging stuff there. This drilling we'll have a chat about, but also like the previous drilling, it's all combining and showing us that, well, Evolution aren't going anywhere. They're keen to keep drilling. So the latest drilling obviously keeps encouraging people.
Yeah, absolutely. The results have been fantastic on the joint venture as well as on 100% ground. But as you said, just focusing on the joint venture initially here in this discussion, some really good numbers. We're talking about under about 50 metres of cover to 80 metres of cover at West Island, the particular prospect that Evolution are focusing on at the moment. So some thick intervals of regolith, Archean regolith, weathered gold mineralisation there, 50 to 60 metres thick at around 1 gram to 2 grams per tonne. So really encouraging. And we're seeing it over about 1.6 kilometres of strike. So it's not always that thick in the regolith, but there comes and goes through zones over that 1.6 kilometres of strike. So it's really hosted within a differentiated dolerite. And that's quite key because it's quite a wide dolerite, a number of hundreds of metres. Dolerites are one of the biggest and most prolific host units for gold mineralisation in the Yilgarn. We're looking at the Golden Mile and the Kambalda district as well. So lots of gold in dolerites, and this one is looking a particularly favourable host rock. So we can see evidence for multiple potential zones of basement mineralisation within this dolerite. It's still early days and we're testing it at the moment. Another note, while is important in this district, is the two biggest deposits in the whole district, Great Fingal, Golden Crown, and that's separate to Big Bell, obviously. So two big deposits up around the Kew region. They're both hosted within similar dolerites. So a good host unit to be looking at gold mineralisation in.
All right, and as you were alluding to before, all the resources you have are on your own ground, and of course, having this JV allows you to go and keep exploring down on your 100% ground. What's been happening down there of late?
Yeah, that's an important point, Wally, because we wouldn't have capacity necessarily to fund and do everything we want to do on both sets of ground ourselves. So it's important to have Evolution in there. But also it allows us to focus a lot on the areas we have down to the south around Break of Day and Lena, which includes and has allowed us to make the new discoveries at Starlight, Break of Day, but also more recently at White Heat, a new high-grade discovery only 300 metres south of Break of Day, and now at Big Sky as well, which is about 2 kilometres to the south of Break of Day. And that is shaping up reasonably well. Modest grade, but very close to surface. At the moment, we're drilling in the oxide. We're resource drilling there at the moment. and also at Whiteheat, those two prospects. And we're looking forward to getting those that resource drilling undertaken and completed later this year and lead towards resource definition next year. So there'll be a number of phases involved in that of drilling both RC at the moment and then switch to diamond. So there's quite a few components involved, but we're looking forward to that drilling being completed and then resources being updated and upgraded for those prospects.
If you were to put the two of them together at the moment, if there was a bit of a race going on, would one be ahead than the other as development phases?
Yeah, look, I think the 100% ground is obviously further ahead in the pipeline in that we already have established resource base there. So there's that positive point. We've started baseline environmental studies there. We've started hydrology studies, metallurgy. So we're a little bit more advanced in that 100% Musgrave ground. The upside, obviously, of the evolution ground is the target size potential is potentially larger. So there are wins for both. So we're looking forward to progressing on both fronts and moving the project forward.
All right. Well, having said that, I mean, Musgrave, you're never shy about putting out some announcements, some news. There's always something coming through. So is there anything happening out there at the moment that we might expect a run of news very soon?
Yeah, we've got 3 drill rigs out turning, or we will have in the next week or so. So we've got 2 on the evolution ground at the moment and 1 on the 100% Musgrave ground. On top of that, we're expecting to get another rig on the Musgrave ground very shortly as well, which will be a diamond rig. So there'll be multiple rigs turning. Obviously, lots of assays in with the laboratories at the moment. There's well over 100 plus holes in with the labs. So there's lots of news flow to come on both the joint venture ground and the 100% Musgrave ground at Q. So Q is our sole focus, and we're looking forward to getting those results to the market. Well, so there's lots happening and lots to come.
Oh, that's good to know. Well, of course, we'll be looking out for it here at the Roadhouse so we can bring it to our viewers and our readers. And I've got to say, Rob, it's been a long time between drinks, but it's great to see you back here again. And we hope to catch up with you very, very soon.
Sounds great. Well, always great to talk to the Roadhouse.